Hi, I'm Jerry. I work for Newmarket and District Youth for Christ, and we're thinking about memories. I don't know how good or bad your memory is. Is it like Mog, the forgetful cat in the book? Or like Dory, who forgets things within seconds? I know my memory isn't as bad as that, but sometimes I have to use prompts like post-it notes. Or if it's later in the evening, sometimes I'm known to email myself to remind myself of some of the important things that I need to remember for the next day. But our brains are amazing with our long-term and short-term memories. A couple of statistics I found out as I thought about our brain's memory. A human brain was linked to a supercomputer, and for 1 second of human brain activity, the supercomputer used 1.4 million gigabytes of RAM. The second is this. A typical computer runs or uses about 100 watts of power. Our human brain roughly requires 10 watts. So our human brains are 10 times more energy efficient than a computer. As we think about memories, we're going to watch a clip from a film called Inside Out. Inside Out tells the story of an 11-year-old called Riley, whose life up to that point has been very secure and safe. However, this all changes when, through circumstances, the family has to move almost 2,000 miles away from this family childhood home. Let's watch the clip and we'll think about it afterwards.
Anyway, these are Riley's memories, and they're mostly happy, you'll notice, not to brag. But the really important ones are over here. I don't want to get too technical, but these are called core memories. Each one came from a super important time in Riley's life. Like when she first scored a goal. Oh, that was so amazing.
Hey, look at that. Very nice.
And each core memory powers a different aspect of Riley's personality. Like Hockey Island. Goofball Island is my personal favorite.
Come back here, you little monkey.
Yep, Goofball is the best.
Phone numbers. We don't need all these. They're in her phone.
Just forget all of that, please.
Hi.
Forget it.
I need to find
Look at
Friendship
this.
Island.
4 years of piano lessons.
Yeah, it looks pretty faded.
You know what? Save chopsticks and heart and soul, get rid of the rest. Are you U.S. presidents? What do you think?
Yeah, just keep Washington, Lincoln, and the fab one.
Forget them!
Hey, you can't throw those away. Those are perfectly good memories.
The names of every cutie pie princess doll.
Yes, that is critical information. Glitterstorm, Honey Pants, and
Forget them!
Hey, bring those back.
They're in the dump. Nothing comes back from the dump.
Yeah, look, lady, this is our job.
When Riley doesn't care about a memory, it fades.
Fade?
Happens to the best of them.
Yeah, except for this bad boy. This one will never fade.
The song from the gum commercial.
You know, sometimes we send that one up to headquarters for no reason.
Plays in Riley's head over and over again, like 1,000,000 times. Let's watch it again.
I know, we all know the song. Okay, yeah, real catchy.
Okay, what do you think? Should we do it?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go! This again?
Funny. Wait, do you know how to get to Friendship Island?
I hope you enjoyed the clip. The majority of the film is set in Riley's control centre, her brain. And we meet 5 characters. Joy is in control, but as the move has taken place and Riley no longer has the security that she had before, often anger, disgust, fear or sadness influence what was a joyful experience. I like the golden spheres, and we see many of them as we look at the racks in the film, and they're often sent these golden memories from the past that to try and shape Riley's feelings in the present. So I love the golden things. Ultimately, we see the long-term memory like a pinball machine. They're in different sections. My favourite one was Goofball Island. The golden memories from the past shape Riley's feelings in the present. I don't know about the little 2 characters that you saw, the ones that either discard memories or keep them. I quite like them. I love the little digit or the little jingle that they used to send back that made them happy and hopefully made the people in the control centre happy as well. But the golden spheres of happiness or joyfulness changed Riley's perception, while anger, disgust, fear and sadness would change it more negatively. Science tells us that the memory and emotions are closely linked, so it's important what we think about. Inside Out, the character of Joy, when she is in control, frequently recalls happy times to try and shape the present. And this is helpful for us. If we can recall happy memories or times when we've overcome things, it can help us in the darkest times of life, now needed more than ever. Before writing, memory was really valued and important, and I think people's memories probably were better because they had to be used more. But with the invention of writing, it was Plato that said this: they will cease to exercise memory because they rely on that which is written, calling things to remembrance no longer from within themselves, but by means of external marks. So with the inventing of the printing press and then books, obviously memory was needed even less. And as we come up to today's society with our phones, our tablets, our computers and the internet, much less is needed to be committed to memory. I know for myself, prior to my mobile phone, I could remember lots and lots of people's numbers because I needed to. Now I have a mobile, all that kind of thing I don't need to remember, and like Riley's memories, they've just disappeared, for I no longer need them. You know that I'm a Christian, and in the Old Testament we're told many stories. One of those stories is the journey of Israel from slavery in Egypt to the promised land, where whilst it was still challenging, it was much better. They had freedom. To get into that land, a miracle happened. They were being led by a guy called Joshua at this point, and they came to a river that was in full flood, as Joshua 4 tells us. And it said that as they prayed, as they stepped into the river banked up like a wall, which meant that they could cross this river that should have been flooded on dry ground. When the whole of the Israelite community had passed through that dry ground across into the promised land, Joshua got 12 people to pick up 12 large stones, and a monument was built so that in the future it would be a reminder for them as a people and to be passed from generation to generation, the story of God allowing them to cross on dry ground into the promised land. We have markers today. I suppose mine are photo albums from the past, and now obviously photos that are held on my tablet and mobile phone. But sometimes we can still have monuments today. There's a new monument that's being built in the Midlands. You can see it on the screen. It's called the Eternal Wall of Answered Prayer. It's a modern reminder of thankfulness and hope. It's going to be just on the outskirts of Birmingham and will be able to be seen by those travelling on the M6 and the M42. It's hoped that it will be completed in the 2020s. Now, just some statistics on this Eternal Wall of Answered Prayer. It's in the shape of an infinity loop. It will be 169 feet tall or 51.5 metres. And as I said, it's technically supposed to be seen by up to 500 people on their journeys on the M6 and the M42. To build the infinity loop, it will take up to 1 million bricks to build the infinity loop, and each one will be linked to an answered prayer. They are looking for 1 million answered prayers. Some of those will be from the past and some from the present, obviously. At this present moment in time, out of the 1 million, they only have 25,775 prayers. But by the end, they'll have 1 million. Each of those bricks will have some kind of media chip in it, so that when people visit it, there will be an app that you can have on your smartphone. And each brick, as you point it to it, it will give you the information of that answered prayer of hope. Because of the height, they'll also have smart binoculars. And as you focus on a brick high up, those binoculars will give you the information behind the brick and the story of God's goodness to that person. Now, if I sent in information for a brick, it would probably be my first answered prayer. I was 16 and a half years old. That's many years ago. And I met a guy called Tom. Tom was a pastor or a vicar. And he told his story. And his story was about knowing God rather than knowing about God. I remember coming away from that meeting being impressed by what Tom had said, and it was very different to my beliefs and thoughts. And I remember praying that night, Lord God, if you really are there, and if I can know you and have a friendship and a relationship with you like Tom has, then can that be so? And the answer to that was prayer. God was like, yeah, of course you can. I became a Christian, and then I had that relationship too. I didn't just know about God, but I knew him. And prayer is just a conversation. And I often have conversations or prayer with God. Prayer is about speaking, but also listening. And I've got many answered prayers from that one prayer. But ultimately, without that first prayer, I wouldn't have the answers to many, many others. So that would be my brick. The brick that says I can know God rather than just know about him. As we think about memories, you may not have an answered prayer. You may not have even prayed. But in the light of what we're talking about, what positive things have happened in your life? What could you lock into your memories of all the good things and positive things that have happened to you in your life? As we think about positive things that happen, it reminds me of a scripture in the New Testament of good memories. Paul, who wrote quite a large proportion of the New Testament, says this in Philippians 4. He was a person that experienced many ups and quite a few really dark downs. And he said this: whatever things are true, honourable, right, pure, lovely, admirable, excellent, worthy of praise, think on these things. In other words, what he's saying is, positiveness is really important. It shapes how we feel. So think of those positive things in the darkest times of life. Now, some people use different things as markers to remember things, as you can see on the screen, some of the things. I suppose as we come into land, I'd encourage you, whether it's digitally or whether it's physically, to make markers of happy things that have happened in your life, so that as you go through the really dark times, you can draw on those memories of good things to shape the future, to give you a sense of perseverance, to persevere through the dark times, because the light and the sunshine times will come. So perhaps make a symbol that inspires you of a memory from the past, that will give you hope and faith for the future. I hope and pray that we have a much better 2021. What good memories will you have to see you through the dark times of life? Thank you very much for listening.